Hello, everybody. It is Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast, regular video here. But this is actually a story I've been following for a little while now. Tomb Raider's probably getting another reboot movie. That's not the whole story. That's just a part of the story as it has evolved over time. And I've already made a couple videos on some of the sales that have gone on behind the scenes. I mean, they've all been public. I've been really interested, and it partially interesting because no one has really talked about it. And now at this point, what you're seeing is the value of IP being made very clear. Essentially, that's what we're talking about. So Tomb Raider, and it all comes back to this company called Embracer Group, and now Embracer Group owns all of Tomb Raider currently, if the information out there, the leaks that have happened, happens to be true, and I will show you exactly why. First off, Dracula. It is at the printer. They told me it would be shipping this week to me. They said it's probably going to be delayed about a week. So small delay. I mean, we're talking a very small delay, 1 week. Not a big deal. I've still got things I'm doing with this campaign to make sure that we get everybody's perks shipped out, but the book's finished, and that should be shipping very, very soon. Fatal. I have not been streaming or making videos lately, and that's because I have been working myself furiously on Fatal. Charlie has also been working on Fatal, and we're at a pretty crucial stage right now where we're trying to make sure that everything is awesome. That's where we're at right now. When is this going to go to the printer? I can't exactly give you a date, but I will know as soon as we make sure it's awesome. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'm very excited because the end is very near in the best way possible. So appreciate everyone's patience on this. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Tomb Raider is probably getting another reboot. This is what happened. MGM Studios owned the movie rights to Tomb Raider. If you don't know much about movie rights, you understand that one company or one individual, in some cases, will come up with a story. It'll be so great, and in whatever medium it takes off in and becomes, some valuable IP. Usually, a creator doesn't have the ability to continue building that IP. Like, there's some kind of ceiling, and some of that is getting major movie studios. So they'll often sell the rights off, and movie rights can get difficult to understand. And in some cases, like in the case of Sony, they own Spider-Man. Straight up, they just own Spider-Man as far as movie rights go. And as long as they're doing something with Spider-Man, it'll remain theirs. And in fact, I think they could just sit on it and not do anything, and they would still own Spider-Man. As for the movie rights between them and Disney, I don't know all the details there, but clearly some stuff has happened, and Sony's making the most of that IP. In the case of Tomb Raider, part of the deal was that they had to be doing something with the IP, MGM Studios. Otherwise, those rights would revert back to the original owner of Tomb Raider as a franchise. Who is that? Well, for a while there, it used to be Square Enix, believe it or not. Yes, the makers of Final Fantasy, Square Enix, massive company that owned a lot of IP. But things have changed a little. So think about this. Tomb Raider is no longer owned by MGM Studios as far as the movie rights go. How do we know that? Because the star of the last Tomb Raider film was told that she's no longer cast to be Tomb Raider. Well, that's interesting. So now we all know something is happening here. Word is, according to Gizmodo, that there is now a furious bidding war over the IP of Tomb Raider. But if we go back here, I'm going to go back to Square Enix. This was not that long ago, May 2nd of this year. Square Enix sells off Tomb Raider and 3 studios to fund NFT games. That headline is an understatement. They sold off not just Tomb Raider, but a number of titles. Tomb Raider is just the biggest one. So Square Enix sold them off because they're going all into this NFT blockchain supported gaming. And I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I'm interested to see what they do. And so they sold that off to Embracer Group. Embracer Group, it gets even deeper than this. Embracer Group is not trying to raise money for an NFT game. What they're trying to do is just develop and use as much IP as they can. I think they are developing a number of franchises themselves, but when they have the opportunity to get something from Square Enix like Tomb Raider, they took them up on that. Not only that, Embracer Group, this is the same company that purchased DC Comics this same year. This was March, though. So Embracer Group has acquired Dark Horse Media. Dark Horse Comics was sold to Embracer Group. Dark Horse Comics is the same company that was publishing Tomb Raider comics. Now that's interesting to me because Square Enix and the sale of Tomb Raider as a game franchise had nothing to do with the comic book series. Like it's a different set of rights for the IP, just like the movie rights are a different set of rights. And in this case, Dark Horse itself, rather than Tomb Raider the Tomb Raider comic rights revert back to the company, which they would at some point, the entire company of Dark Horse is now owned by Embracer Group. Kind of insane. With this new news, with Tomb Raider not getting another or they'll eventually going to get another reboot, but it's not going to follow the Tomb Raider that you have known from the last 2018 release. Everything now is owned by this game company that is just becoming bigger and bigger. They own several studios, and they've got some looks at some studios that are actually small studios. But judging by just the money that they have spent and all of the IP that they have accumulated that within the past year from buying different video game studios, buying intellectual property from all over the place, they're starting to become some kind of juggernaut. And the fact that they bought Tomb Raider now is going to be paying off if there are, in fact, really major movie studios all at a bidding war for the movie rights to Tomb Raider. Wow. It really is pretty crazy to see this happening. What does this mean? It means I still want to write the comic book. Tomb Raider, Flat Earth, call me, Embracer Group, Dark Horse Comics. I want to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. I'll be back with more comic book news because that's what gets the views. Thanks. I'll see you later.